Do you know that the Philippines is the global epicenter for OSEC? I'm sure you didn't. Most people don't even know what OSEC is. OSEC is the online sexual exploitation of children. It is the use of a child to make sexually explicit photos, videos, live shows on the internet in exchange for money. It is so pervasive in our country because everyone has a gadget, access to the internet, and a good command of the English language. It is a grave threat to our Filipino children. The stories of the countless victims are heartbreaking. OSEC is ravaging our country, and we need to work together to end it.
As a mother of 3, this really affects me. Most perpetrators are parents, relatives, close friends, or even neighbors of the victims. People that children expect they can trust. Knowing that some of the abusers and online traffickers are mothers, I just cannot accept this. Cybersex trafficking is driven not by poverty alone, but by greed. Traffickers know that they can make easy money by exploiting the children's innocence, using them as commodities only for financial gain.
From the ages of 12 to 17, Cassie was raped in front of a camera for live cybersex shows that were broadcast all over the world. Her story highlights this new form of slavery that preys on the poorest and thrives in secrecy.
It's really hard. It's like I was thinking that I want to die because of this pain, but I can't. He told me that he can help me to reach all my dreams. We are 6 victims inside of the house of my recruiter. My recruiter hurt me every day when I do something bad that he don't like, because he want every day, I need to follow him. But if I don't follow him, he's going to hurt me, just spank me, slap me in the face in front of the people. I really want to kill him. I really want to die that time, but I can't. It's feel very lonely for me because I was very far from my family and I can't tell them what happened to me because I was very scared. When they rescued us, it made me heal all the pain. It is in my second home I realized everything, that you don't need to lose hope. If I see or if I hear or there is a victim of human trafficking like us, I just want her to comfort her, help her to move forward and just fight for your rights. Because that's the start where I stand now.
The statistics are horrifying. 54% of the victims are under the age of 12 years, with a 2-month-old baby being the youngest victim recorded. 44% of the victims are siblings who are being forced to perform sex acts in front of a webcam as directed by a customer on the other side of the computer screen. The perpetrators are mostly female, 85% to be exact. 77% are family members or relatives. So what does this tell us about the perpetrators? It's the very people who are closest to the children. It's those who are supposed to protect them, those who have their complete trust. It's them who victimize and facilitate the easy and unrestrained access to the children.
Both the criminals who demand and those who supply are usually mobile. They can manipulate locations online, making them very difficult to catch. They feel protected by the anonymity of the internet. But this crime is anything but virtual. It's a real child being abused in real time. It may seem hopeless, but we believe there's much hope to end online sexual exploitation of children. There are so many children suffering in silence, and their identities are not yet known to authorities. But as we collectively rise up to shed light on OSEC, One by one, these children will be found and restored to safety and strength.
So while we are seeing successes in addressing commercial sex trafficking in bars and streets, we are seeing this rise of this evil that is called online sexual exploitation of children. As we work with various police officers, law enforcement agencies, we've conducted about 170 rescue operations all across the Philippines that resulted in more than 500 victims of online sexual exploitation. And we're talking here of toddlers, infants even. So about 50% of the survivors at the point of rescue are 12 years and younger. What we're seeing here is that it happens anywhere in the Philippines, all across our islands, whenever there is internet connectivity. And based on the rescue operations that we've supported the police, we've conducted in these operations in about 30 cities. So not just concentrated in urban areas, but also in other provincial or even remote areas where we don't even thought, we haven't even think that this can actually happen in these communities. I think it is important that in our own circles of influence and spheres, we are able to talk about this, share what we know about the issue of online sexual exploitation, use our platform. We can use the same technology that criminals actually use. I'm so hopeful because I have seen it myself, and that for me is just a wonderful privilege because I've been with the organization since its very beginning, and we have worked with the criminal justice system in the Philippines. So we've seen that if laws are enforced effectively, the abuse of vulnerable victims is dramatically reduced. And the great thing about that is because there is the deterrent impact of law enforcement, then we'll see greater protection for the vulnerable in our communities. IJM has been working with the criminal justice system in the Philippines for about 2 decades already. And for us, the strength of that is that we are able to diagnose what are the gaps in the system. Laws are effectively enforced and impunity is addressed, we'll see a dramatic reduction in the abuse of vulnerable children in our communities.
Thankfully, we have organizations like IJM who are working tirelessly to help eradicate OSEC through joint rescue operations with local law enforcement, as well as seeking convictions for perpetrators and facilitators. IJM social workers also help place survivors into aftercare homes where they can go back to school and receive ongoing therapy.
The interventions in OSEC doesn't stop after rescue. There is this journey towards restoration, and it's long and it's hard. And I think it's really important for us to understand that the aftercare needs for survivors of OSEC is big. We're also developing an aftercare program with the Department of Social Welfare and Development because again, we're seeing infants, toddlers being removed from these spaces of abuse and exploitation, and they're separated from their families. So I think those are great opportunities for us to be able to fill in. One example would be adopt a shelter. So this is something that we are able to do in whatever capacity you have, providing resources for a specific shelter that provides this type of services for children. The other thing is that anyone can also be a foster carer. Receive the child to be a foster parent for these children. And I think for me, that is just a wonderful privilege to be able to be a supportive parent, at least for that moment in the life of a child. And the other thing, of course, is that we, really just use their platform to share the need for this aftercare needs to ensure that resources will come in. And so for me, those are really wonderful opportunities for us to be able to participate and engage in the work of this journey towards restoration and true freedom for survivors. There is a way for our networks who are not in the Philippines or living abroad who would be able to help and support the needs for OSEC. IJM has started this engagement called Freedom Partners. They can be a freedom partner. So with the resources that they can provide, they can actually send police officers and IJM to rescue survivors of OSEC in these dark places of abuse and exploitation. And they can also help in terms of the restoration of these children towards living in true freedom. So be a freedom partner, and it's a great and wonderful opportunity to be part of the solution to this issue. I do hope that upon hearing this issue, it will not overwhelm us. It will not overwhelm them, but actually move them and compel them to action. It's very easy for us to be consumed and overwhelmed and then immobilized by the issue. And it seems that there's really no hope. But actually, there's so much hope.
OSEC is so destructive, and it makes many people turn away in horror. But now that we know what is happening in our country, we need to do something to help our children. Our Philippine government has tough laws to protect and defend children from crimes like OSEC, but OSEC prospers in places with weak law enforcement. To end OSEC, we need to end impunity. Traffickers need to understand that the punishment is severe and punitive. Our children are not only being robbed of their childhood, but also their dignity and their right to live and thrive in a safe society. Please join this mission to help end OSEC.
Please join us in our mission to end OSEC.
Join us in our mission to end OSEC.
Please join us in our mission to end OSEC.